Logic is a DAW, a digital audio workstation. It's a program for creating and recording music. In short, your computer is the brains of the operation. All the sounds and instruments you load into it will be like the vocal cords. The brain, the computer, via the DAW, will tell those vocal cords, the sounds, what to do. In basic terms, a DAW will record and play back how hard a note is played, how long a note is played for, and whereabouts on the beat that note is played, and then it will play it back to you. Obviously, there's thousands of other things that Logic can do, like manipulate and play back audio, add effects. It can even be used to totally mix down your record. The list is endless, but this class focuses on getting you up and running. Installing Logic is easy. If you go to the App Store, log into your account and you can download it from there. Just follow the on-screen instructions on how to install it. When you do install it, you'll be asked some questions. For example, do you want to download the Apple Library? The Apple Library is a vast resource of samples, a really great addition to your library. You can choose to install this on your hard drive or an external drive. The choice is yours depending on the size of your computer. You can also decide if you want to install main stage selection of Logic. This is used for live performance and not needed for music production. So, we've installed Logic. When you first open Logic, you will be given different options on what to load. We are going to open Empty Project, as this is what we'll be covering the basics and getting started with today. When the project opens, you will be presented with an option to create track. An audio track, a software instrument or a Midi track, or a drummer or guitar or bass track. For now, just choose an audio track. We will talk about what the others do later. If you're using an audio interface, we need to get this set up. Go to Logic, Preferences, Audio, hit the Audio tab, and select the audio interface that you are using. Once this is done, we need to turn on some other features. So go back to the Logic menu, go to Preferences, General, select the Advanced tab, click Show Advanced Tools, then enable these. This will turn on a whole bunch of features that we're going to need. Let's turn our attention to the control bar and display. This is the section that gives you the information about your project, for example, BPM, time or frames. There are several different views. My preferred view is custom, as this shows the information clearly. It also shows what notes and chords may be played on the keyboard, a handy function for beginners. It also gives you access to some menus for other features that will be used during the course. For example, keep tempo and smart tempo project settings. Again, these will be covered more in the main music production course. Earlier, we mentioned audio, software instruments and Midi track. Let's take a look. An audio track kind of says what it does on the box. It plays a piece of audio. For example, if you have a drum loop, you can drag and drop it onto an audio track. From here you can play it back or manipulate it and edit it. Again, we'll take a look at this stuff really closely in our main course. Let's take a look at software instrument tracks. These are what we use to play instruments like synths or samplers. Let's take a look at a Midi track. These are used to play external instruments like outboard synths. When you select one of these, it sends a signal to your external instrument called Midi, allowing you to play and record notes. Did you notice how I was adding those tracks? Let's take a look again. Using the plus button brings up a menu from where we can select what kind of track we would like. A software instrument, an audio track, external Midi, etc. You may notice some other options, but we don't need those for now. Let's take a look at software instruments. Logic comes with a bunch of great free soft synths and samplers. We will take a look at those again in more depth in our main production course. For now, let's load up a sampler. There are two types of sampler in Logic, and these are really powerful tools for music production. They allow us to load any sound we want into to make a musical instrument. Let's start with Quick Sampler. As mentioned before, this allows us to load any sound or sample into it to play back as a musical instrument. Let's grab a kick drum from our library and load it into the sampler. Simply grab the sound and drag it over into the sampler. You will get various options on how to import the sound. Let's choose Original. This is best for drum sounds. Let's turn off the function key tracking. This feature allows the pitch of the sample to be changed when played on a keyboard. We don't need this for now. There are lots of other features we cover in the main production course. And of course, this process can be repeated for any sound or instrument. Kick drum, clap, hi-hat, vocal, all the parts we need to build up a track. Let's look at getting a sound library together for Logic. First, I would create a sound library folder on your computer in a place where you can keep all your sounds and samples. For example, commercial sample packs that you may buy. Once this is done, there are plenty of ways of getting these sounds into Logic. You could simply drag and drop, import a sample, I think the most efficient way is to use the Untagged Loop feature. This means your samples will be easy to find and audition. It will even put loops in time with your project so you can audition them quickly and easily. This is how you load some samples into your Untagged Loop section. It's very easy. Simply drag and drop your sample folder and drop it onto the Apple Loop section. It will ask you if you want to add your folder to the Untagged Loops. If you can't see an Untagged Loop tab at the top of the page, don't worry. The first time you drag a sample folder into Apple Loops, it will create an Untagged Loop section. So now we have some sounds loaded. We know how to create a track and load in some sounds to our sampler or load up a soft synth. Let's look at creating a part. There are several ways to do this. We can play it on our Midi keyboard. Press R for record. This will put Logic into record and simply play the notes that you want on your keyboard. Once recorded, double click on the part. This is where you can edit your notes. We can change the note length or put them into time. Let's look at quantizing our notes. This simply means we're going to automatically put our notes in time on the correct beat. There are two ways of doing this. We can select all our notes and we can press Q to the left of the screen, or we can select all our notes and simply use the quick key Q on our keyboard. Another way to do this would be to create a Midi region and draw a note in. Hold Control, click the screen and select Create Region. This has created a region we can now open by double clicking. Here you can draw the notes in that you want your DAW to play back. For example, select your pencil tool and draw in the chosen note on the desired position. Or another option would be again to hold Control, click the screen and select the Create Note option. Don't forget, all these notes can be moved around to your desired position simply by grabbing and moving them. You can see there are lots of different settings in this screen, but don't worry about those. Once again, we'll look at these in our main production course. This page we've been working in is called the piano roll, and this is where we will do all our editing for our musical parts. You notice we have been drawing notes on beats 1, 2, 3, and 4. That's because dance music follows a 4/4 time signature. You may have also noticed on the left of the screen are some faders. These are used for setting the volume for all our individual tracks. And if you press X, it will show you all channels that are available for mixing. Once again, we're going to get into really detailed mixing on our main course, so don't worry about that for now.